Starting soon.
Oh, I knew that was going to be weird. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Album Book Club. This week we're taking a look at Lionheart by Vestron Vulture. I meant to get some information about this band beforehand. Logan, did you have anything?
Yeah, I believe it is a solo act. Can you turn my headphones down a little? Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a solo act. He does all the music himself, typically with a drum machine and synthesizers. Uh-oh. Some technical difficulties.
Your camera's just super off-center.
No, there's some technical difficulties. And we're back. All right, yeah. The artist goes under like the genre tag of Dethwave, which is an offshoot of Darkwave, which is essentially lo-fi meets gothic music meets death metal. And I'm not gonna lie, I really don't think that is a group of things that one can quite meld and keep true to any of the genres. Because, I mean, with lo-fi and adding gothic and death metal, it doesn't particularly meld. And I think that is probably the case here.
Yeah, but it's really just one aspect of those things that doesn't work. And I'm sure we will beat that horse to death 10 times over in this review.
Yeah. All right.
All right, you ready to get into your top three?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. I have 90s Jennifer, Motion Sickness, and Automatic Standard.
All right, I had Motion Sickness, 90s Jennifer, and Black Mass.
All right.
Bottom song.
My bottom song was Parasocial.
Believe it or not, my bottom song was also Parasocial.
Yeah, that's a pretty valid take, I think. Also, yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, there's only two of us. Some things happened where a couple castmates couldn't make it tonight, and we send our regards to them and hope everything is going great for them. And we're going to get this review out for everybody.
Speaking of, you ready to get into the first track?
Let's do it.
All right, 90s Jennifer. I gave this one a 6 out of 10.
I gave this a 5 out of 10.
That is valid. I like the beat on this one, and that's going to stay for, I think, this one and the next one because they sound very similar. And I'm eventually going to get over that. I'll say it here, and I'll say it probably on every song. I can't hear the vocals pretty much at all, and I think the problem shows up when I can. Well, because then I can tell what effect he added too much of.
Yeah, man, to call this an album with vocals, I think is a stretch. This is really an album with too much reverb, with vague pitches. I don't think there's a discernible word on the entire album, and it was so bad as to the point where I had to crank my monitors all the way up to max volume because I thought that I was missing something. And then when I realized that was just doing hearing damage, turned it back down, switched to AirPods, nothing came out of the discernible words. So yeah, this was just pretty rough. For this song, at least, the beat was pretty solid, like you said. My biggest gripe with the beat, though, was the actual drum machine loop. It glitches out when it goes to repeat, and it is really easy to just take that out because it's a repeating beat the entire time. And it's just in there. That's unprofessional for something like this, right? If you're going to use drum machines and loops and those kinds of progressions, because this is not too, earth-shatteringly musical. It's one thing the whole time, and that's fine if it's done right, but there's little things that have to be done right, and they just weren't. I feel fine saying that. Dude's got like 20K followers on Instagram, so he's got a following enough. It's just things like that are little minute things that should probably be fixed before it hits the floor like this, because it's not like that on any other song.
Yeah. We ready to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, my notes get a little lighter from here on out, I fear. This is track 2, Motion Sickness. Do I go first? I already forgot how we do the order. I gave it a 6.5.
Yeah, I gave it a 5.
This one feels and sounds very similar to the first track, except I can hear the vocals more, and he's got too much echo on this one. That note will happen again with different effects.
Yeah, way to nail it. That's exactly the problem. There's the problem I find with every song on this album, but most in particular these like first 3, is they set it up like it's gonna be something different, right? It's like it's got this intro, you're like, oh cool, it's building to something, and then it builds right into one thing forever. And this song just, man, it drug it out. And yeah, the vocals just create this crappy layer of reverb, and you can't hear anything. And it would be fine if the rest of the song was ethereal in any kind of way, but it just isn't. It's very standard, like 70s pop groove or indie rock groove, something very, very easy to put out and very easy to make. But then the vocals are just this cascade of like just ethereal jumbled mess. And I went and looked at the lyrics a few times, and they're exactly what death metal lyrics are, which is where the tie-in comes, but they're not mixed the same way. They're not even sang the same way. And I don't understand the point of tagging that in without like actually making it a prominent point.
I'm going to be honest. Every time I tried to read the lyrics with the songs, I couldn't even figure out where they were lined up. And it had the Apple Music function where it like lines it up with the song. I still couldn't hear what I was reading.
Maybe it's all the like black metal I've listened to that made it easier to follow. But there are some times where it's just so ethereal and so reverb caked that it's just like, whoa. And you can't. There's just nothing in there, man.
Problem is, after you hear the I forget which effect it is. There's another effect that once you hear that one, you miss the reverb.
Oh no! How can you miss the reverb?
I can't even remember. We'll get to it. It's written down here. I just don't remember which one or what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to track 3, Automatic Standard. I gave this one a 3 out of 10.
Give us a 4.5.
This is one where I could actually kind of hear the lyrics, and I didn't like them. I didn't like what they sounded like. And also the beat is super repetitive, but like everything on this album is kind of repetitive, but this is the amount that is annoying. The first 2 didn't have that.
Yeah, this is the most like loop. Like you can tell this one's a loop. The others, what they do best later on, and even in the last 2, is they'll throw in a riff here and then take away that riff and put in something else as a filler, and then enunciating my hard consonants. Sorry. And then, so they take it away and then add it back, and that's really cool. And this one, it's just straight 4 on the floor, ripping. But I do like hearing the vocals. This is where it kind of clocked me into that it wasn't going to be what I had assumed it was, which was alternative music. So I started doing my research here because it was very reminiscent of vocals I have heard before and listened to and like. So I was like, okay, this is supposed to be that like anti-art thing. And then I find out it's a lo-fi background, which is not anti-art. It's supposed to be like background or chill, laid-back music. And this is not particularly that. There's too much, like, I don't want to say high impact on the drums, but it's not smooth enough for lo-fi. It's just got a little too much going for it. And then I think the vocals should turn up from here on out and just take the reverb level down a bit. But that is because I understand that that's where the vocal style is supposed to be for the genre. And it's not supposed to sound like what you assume God sounds like.
So we got some comments.
Oh, no. Oh, the dynamic. Lyrics did seem like an afterthought. Mm-hmm. And you are exactly right about them sounding like someone who's inebriated. The vocals, I think a review that I will pull up online said it best, which is just terrible vocals behind a screen of etherealness, and it just doesn't work out for them. And that is exactly right. It's someone who I think really wanted to do X genre and can sing. There is clear pitch recognition in there most of the time until you can hear they're trying to do that gravelly, like, growl of death metal or black metal. And that's when the tuning starts to slip, and you could tell it's pretty rough. But that this guy can sing, so I think it's just a not understanding how the genre is actually working. But also, to my knowledge, I think this is kind of a self-created genre. There was like 3 bands that even identified as Dethwave, and I'm fairly certain I read that it said they were the originators of the tag of it. So, and it's all based on like post-punk stuff, which doesn't exactly make sense to me because I would think this would be a little harder.
Almost seems like you put a bunch of genres in a hat, just pulled a couple out,
For real.
but then like post-punk was like stuck to another one that he pulled out.
Yeah, honestly, wild times.
All right, moving on to track 4, Hair on Fire. I give this one a 5 out of 10.
I give this a 4 out of 10.
I'm back to liking the beats, but the vocals sound the worst so far on this track. And then it also gets repetitive at the end, just enough to make a note, but
yeah,
still.
There's like a 20-second outro on this song.
Mm-hmm.
Not it. Not feeling it at all. And then also, look, these vocals were recorded in the apartment building next door with a mic in this room. These are in the void. Get them a light, man, so you can see where they're going. I also don't get it because of how processed everything is. You have the ability to be as clean as you want here. Everything is artificial. It's not a real drummer. The bass guitar, it may be a real player, but it sounded like it was like plug-in stuff. And then I don't even know if there is actual guitar on this or if it's just synth guitar. So there's so much room to be as clean vocally as you want, and then just turn the level down, which I think would have been the ultimate right move, which is have slightly quieter vocals, less affected. Instead, you have heavily affected vocals that are even quieter than the unaffected vocals should be. Mm-hmm. Also, the master of the mix is just completely way too quiet. I had to
I don't know if I caught that. I think it was fine, I guess.
I set my phone at the same volume for everything. For my headphones, there's got the little loudness decibel beater on there, and it is set to peak out at 80. And I had to click my volume up button 3 times to get this to even reach 79. It was my phone set at max volume, and it was peaking at 82. For frame of reference, my phone at half volume peaks at 80 for every other song. So yeah, the master's just way too quiet. And then, man, it gets so boring listening to one drum loop the whole time. The guitar, synth, whatever, and bass, change it up just enough because there's actual progression in the notes there. There's actual musicality there. But just hearing the same drum loops, there's like 5 on this whole album. And at one point, they do switch it up in the drums. I don't remember if I even wrote it down. But it's like they turn into like a weird fun club beat. And I was in, and then I was out again.
What's the it goes to like the hi-hats.
Mhm.
And that one is like the biggest standout. Is just this one hi-hat pattern that I thought was fine the first time I heard it.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. Next up, Animosity 93. Give this one a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave this one a 4 out of 10.
I did not write a whole bunch for this. I just wrote this is my least favorite vocal track so far, and the beat is kind of fine, I guess.
Yeah. Ironically enough, this is the song where they switch it up to like the club beat halfway through, and then it switches back. I thought that was actually good. The amount of drum changing in this song was what it should be if you're gonna do loops the whole album. Every song should be like this, where it's like a minute of this, minute of that, 45 seconds of something else, or the back to the one. Other than that, it started out with a fun riff, I guess, because it continued to be the background of the song. It wasn't particularly a melody or a counter, I guess. There's nothing to talk about here, man. There's no substance. This is, gosh, it's like eating a McDonald's burger. It just passes straight through you. It's nothing there. Oh, man. I started crashing out pretty hard from about this point on, and it ain't pretty.
I don't know. We're definitely getting to it later, but this was one of the longer feeling albums we've had in a good couple seasons, I think.
I think I will adamantly go on record and say that this was the toughest listen for me to date from this whole show. There are things that I have thought were bad. There are things that I haven't gotten that I was like, man, this is a tough listen. I listened to an hour and a half of Janet Jackson straight. I would do it 50 times over put this thing on again.
Can't wait to see what we come up with for pacing. All right. This one's also going to be a really long review. Wrist Cutter. I gave a 5 out of 10.
I gave this one a 4.
And I'll get this out of the way. Got a thumbs middle.
Thumbs middle. Yeah, we'll fully rotate that later. Look, all right, you got an edgy name here. I respect it. That's your death metal tie-in. The drum and bass working together, that's your lo-fi tie-in, right? You have all of the working parts of what seemingly should be the genre you've created. Why is there no substance here? You are back in the void with your vocals. Oh my gosh. It's not even sad vibe music, which is what I wrote down, because there's no vibe here. The vibe is that you as a musician don't know how to mix your vocals. Oh my God, I'm going to crash out again. There's such a mess of things here that could work together, and that's what aggravates me. All of the right pieces to this puzzle are sitting right here. You have just taken a hammer and jammed them together instead of making the picture. The reverb should go on the master, buddy. Put it on everything and take off 17 layers of it. The vocals should actually be recorded again and made present. Use your voice, project it, present it. That is what you as a solo act have to do. That is your instrument. You can program drums all you want. Can't sing in the void. And man, just pick more cool drum samples maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Or get a drummer.
You could get a drummer. That is, I mean, if you're trying to stay in lo-fi, I respect using the samples. I get it. If you want to do lo-fi, cut the vocals. If you want to do lo-fi adjacent, make the vocals present.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting at like barely not lo-fi, and that's the problem. You're barely not something, which kind of makes you something else.
All right. Track 7, Mariana. I gave this song a 4.5 out of 10.
I give this a 4.
This is another one where there's too much reverb on the vocals.
Shocker.
Which, I mean, is most songs, but like noticeably more than the other songs that also have too much reverb. Oh, the full note is there's too much reverb on these vocals for me to not be able to hear them at all. I can only hear the existence of too much reverb. This is where I realized that if I was driving somewhere at night and this album was playing, I would actually just black out and crash the car.
It's 2 weeks in a row, kids. Songs you can crash your car to.
Yep, this one's going on the playlist.
Look, I'll give it to him. Everything but the vocals was moderately fine on this one. It existed in a realm of not pissing me off. But the vocals, man, I don't even think they exist on this plane. They're in the Feywild. What the shit? I'm sick of it, man. I can't do it no more. I started cracking at the seams, and this was the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is when you got that text from me. That
Yep.
just was like, this is terrible.
Yeah, no, I hated that the only thing I could hear of the vocals was the like end of the reverb, or like I guess the peak of the reverb. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Comment says, I do like the spacey sound for the guitars. I think the spacey sound on the guitars was great when it was done. I just wish that everything else wasn't in such a realm of space that made it seem like they were almost clean. That's the thing that was... I don't know how you have so much reverb on something that you make a reverb cake guitar sound like it's a clean guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It's an impressive skill. I'll give you that.
At least there wasn't too much reverb on the drum samples.
I think I would cake it all in reverb. You know, just throw it on everything.
At this point, just...
You got to go full reverb or like no reverb, apparently. Reverb the master. Crank it to 12 on everything.
Yep. Why stop at 12?
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead and take it to 13.
All right. Track 8, Should Have. I give this one a 5 out of 10.
I gave this a 4.
Again, the beat is fine, but somehow the lyrics are more monotone than the rest of the album. And I don't even know how that's possible since I haven't heard a single lyric yet.
The way I wrote this was, this song is as if a kid was showing his indie track to his pastor at church. It sounds like an indie track in a reverb hall. It is... why? This is the one that made me, I think, most mad about the genre, because this doesn't even stick to the standard that I have seen created the past tracks of being Dethwave without an A. I don't like this song. It's just bad.
weird how we're having less and less to say about these tracks.
Yeah, it's it only gets meaner in my notes from here.
I think I plateau until the end. I get pretty mean at the end, but it's not like a lot of mean. It's like 2 things and then we're done.
I will say one note I can see coming up just says same shit, different day.
That's what most of this album feels like.
Yep.
All right. Track 9, Black Mass, I gave a 6 out of 10.
I gave it 2.
This one has more energy than the entire rest of the album that we've heard so far, and I liked it a little bit more. It sounds like the one TikTok song that I don't know what it's called, if done kind of worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree that this is a better song than everything else we've heard. But into the context of what we've heard, this is the worst one. It's more upbeat than everything else. It's supposed to be lo-fi-esque. It's also, I think, as this album went on, it was hard to try and focus on what to take notes on, right? Because that's what we do here. We analyze and rip things apart and be jerks about it. But, oh man, there was nothing to rip apart here. It's someone hitting buttons on a drum pad, someone doodling some synths, and then singing, allegedly. There's just nothing to do. This is the equivalent of like kicking rocks outside as a kid because you were told to go play outside and your friends aren't home. You're just waiting around. I'd rather play with a flashlight in like a dark room than listen to this ever again. So bad. I'm losing it.
All right. Track 10, 21-8. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I gave this one a 4 out of 10.
I gave this 3.
My only note is it's not the first time I'm noticing this, but all of these songs sound the same.
This is where the same shit, different day came from.
Wow.
And then the next note after that is there's nothing worth anything here. It's the same song. Like, not as every song. I will give it to him. There's 3 different songs on this album. But
it's our favorite thing to say on Album Book Club. You have one EP.
I don't even know that you got an EP. You got a single here, my friend.
You can throw. There's gonna be one less good song on an EP.
That's true. It's just, oh my gosh. Something's got to change. It can't be 40 minutes of one thing, and if it is, it has to be like one continuous track. Like even Lo-Fi Girl changes it up. Come on. It's just rage-inducing.
Reading the rest of my notes, I don't think I actually wrote down the note that I referenced earlier. With there's another effect that is too heavy, but I forget what it is, and I don't think I wrote it down.
Yeah, it's fair.
Sorry about that.
Gosh.
It's fine. I'll see myself out. Track 11, Sadistic Glee. I gave this one a 4 out of 10.
Gave it a 2.
I completely missed this one. On my review listen, I had to go back and listen again. And afterwards, it made me glad that the Fushigi is here. This song is in the blender with the rest of it.
Yeah, so I made the mistake of not doing this review early. And so I used my lunch break at work today to do my review. I was not pleased that 40 of my hour were used to review this. And Sadistic Glee got almost the worst of it. And it's the same exact thing, same formula as every other song. A riff you're going to hear for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The same drum loop you're going to hear for 30 seconds. Vocals you're not going to hear. And bass guitar, that vaguely exists. It's not good background music. It's not good music. I don't know that I can say there's skill here, because whatever skill there possibly is caked in so much reverb that it's illegible. I would love to get my hands on the stems of this so I can fix it. I'll do it for free. I don't care. It is just unlistenable. It's bad.
Sorry, I'm having a brief technical difficulty
Oh,
that
good.
actually doesn't affect anything at all. All right, next up, track 12, Judas Effect. I gave this one a 4 out of 10,
Gave this one a 4.
which is weird because this was one of the starred songs. Is this one in the first two?
No, makes sense.
I was expecting something. This one was weird. This one felt too short, considering nothing happened, and it was still like normal track length. All 4 points came from the beat, by the way.
Yeah. Ironically enough, you can somewhat hear the vocals in this one again, and I was in for it. There were a few words that, as I was reading along, I could actually hear and understand. I was quite happy about that. Are they good vocals? No, but I'm pretty sure that's the design, and that's fine. Drum loop started breaking again in this one a little bit, and then it's not creative, man. I'm sorry. This is the equivalent of like I don't even know. It's just like a plain grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah. The distaste in my voice is rough.
Too bad you don't have your cup today.
For real, I left it at home. It's in a rush.
All right, last two, I think.
Woo!
Yeah. Sing in Sorrow. I give this one a 3 out of 10.
I give this a 3 and I'll get this out of the way.
Yeah, this song does nothing. It's all repetitive. It's too boring. It has the same problem that every other track on this album has. It's just now I've gotten to the point where I'm mad about it. That you hit 7 songs ago.
Yup. It's the only note I have written down is just this is bad with 12 A's. So I couldn't handle it anymore. The next song got it worse, but
Oh yeah. Yep. Let's get to it. Parasocial. I gave a 1.5.
you're nice. I gave it a 1.
There is a minute and 30 seconds of nothing but guitar loop and moaning, and then another minute and 30 seconds of fade out. That's it. That's the whole song.
You gave me the only thing you should have done from the beginning of this album, which is take the vocals out. There were no vocals on this track.
There were. It was like just moan in the background.
Yeah, but I mean like words.
Okay, words. Yeah. Okay.
Because there's no discernible, there's no melody here, right?
Mhm.
Which is what it should have been the whole time. And you give it to me at 40 minutes left. Or like, I just listened. Oh my God. Don't ever make a song again. If it graces my desk, I will give it a 0. If I ever see your name pop up as a suggestion again, it is a war. And just know, you're in for it. Because I will not pull my punches next time. And I know you're saying, oh, you didn't pull your punch, or you pulled your punches? Yes, I could have been meaner, and I will be. And I said you weren't a musician. So imagine how much worse it can get. God.
All right, we ready to see pacing?
Yeah,
All right, pacing score. I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 0.
Yep, that's about fair. This album felt like it was 3 hours long, and it was 40 minutes, which is already still too long for this. It was a rough get through.
Yeah. Look, you were dead in the water from track 1, and that's just because you break all rules of music. and you just don't have anything creative or moving or anything to latch onto. There's nothing there to take me from one place to another, whether it is storytelling, whether it is a good melody, whether it's a good counter melody, a good bass track, a good drum track, a good vocal track. Anything to like is not there. So from second 1 of this album, I wanted to quit. And it did not let up for the next 42 minutes. Oh my gosh. Something did score well on this album, and you were right, Dave. It was Album Art.
Oh, you gave it a good score?
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Album Art, I gave it a 5.5.
I gave it a 7.
It's fine. It kind of, I guess, maybe a little bit fits what's going on here, but not really.
Keep it a buck. I just thought it was a cool picture. I also felt that I had been so mean that I had to be nice in some way. And I do think, for what it is, if I got this in a blind buy, right, I would be like, yeah, no, that's my fault. Because to a degree, if you see this in the metal section, because this is where it would end up at, you got to know that this is a messed up metal album. It ain't going to be clear, true metal, so it was fine enough.
I don't know. It was fine. It is a good picture, I guess, but I don't think it tells you anything about what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't really know how to make a picture that would do that. So
yeah, I'm not sure that. I mean, like a synthwave with the a synthwave car with the Grim Reaper driving it or something. I don't know. In like Gothic architecture.
Yeah, but I feel like that's gonna look like.
It's gonna look like one of those memes. It's like, I beat my wife and drive trucks.
It's either gonna be that or like baby's first Photoshop project.
Yeah. the beer chugger.
All right, ready to get into album overall?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. I gave this a 4 overall. I don't think I'm gonna listen to this again. I don't think I loved what I heard. I know at least a couple of songs I didn't. Some of them were fine. I'm not going to give it like a 0 or anything, but...
I didn't give it a 0. Look, you get a 2. I can't help but think I can fix it. And that's the biggest issue, is I think I vaguely get the vision. And it's just so far from anything clear. Like, this is looking without your glasses on, man. Put the glasses on and see what you're trying to see, and let us see it too. I don't think anyone should listen to this ever. I think if you're going to listen to one track off of it, if you totally want to kill your own vibe, throw it on. But like,
I mean, I'm sure there's a playlist that's not the Crash Your Car Into a River playlist that a song off of this can go on. But
maybe it is just because it was 42 minutes of back to back to back to back. Because I didn't hate the first track when I initially listened to it, and there's something to be said there. But for me to be able to recall my anger and bring it back on the show from my listen, it's sitting deep with me, my hatred of this album. And the first 3 tracks I think could maybe end up in like one of my random playlists, just as like a filler track or like an interlude in my playlist, but never as a listening track.
See, I don't know, because my first listen of this, like this weekend, I put it on not great speakers in the background of me. I think I was editing something, and I thought it was fine. Like, I made it most of the way through that album, through this album, no problem. But I wasn't listening to it at all. It was just background noise. But then when we actually sat down and analyzed it, it was pretty rough.
That's the thing. I can put on lo-fi music and that stuff. I mean, we've got a playlist on Bandcamp with some lo-fi and jazz stuff in it that I throw on all the time to lock in. I couldn't. Like, I was trying to do some stuff around the house while I was taking my lunch break and doing this. I was like, no, I got to sit here and lock in or turn it off. And those are bad options for this. Well, turning it off is a great option. Locking into it is a terrible option.
Yeah, Dave, I agree. If I picked this up thinking it was metal, I would also be pissed.
I think I would. I think mostly because in my brain, if this were on vinyl, the vocals can't be that buried.
It is, by the way.
Oh, I'm not buying it. If you send it to me, I'll listen to it. But actually, no, I won't. I'm lying. Don't listen.
I don't see that happening anyway.
It'll probably get thrown out the window if that happens. It's just, I can see where at the core of this is someone who really wants to be into their own space, right? And I can respect that. I think you have to learn how to work out of other people's spaces first. This seems like you're trying to pull from way too many genres and not pull enough to make it anything discernible. It's not a good business model. It's not a long-term thing at all. It's not even a career-worthy thing. I don't think you can last on this. It's such a niche that, who wants to realistically listen to gothic death metal vocaled lo-fi? You're looking at the guy that barks at, and I'm saying stop. Get into death metal or get into lo-fi. If you're gonna meld the two, heavier guitars, real drums, vocals. You there's a commitment issue here.
If you're gonna start with one of those things, make it the vocals. Start with that. That's the easiest one to fix off start.
No, don't put out another album until you have all of those things. That is for everyone's sake. Save your name some.
I fear that you've missed several drops from him.
Good.
Since then. Oh my God. I have to go to the More Albums tab.
Oh my gosh.
How many songs is this? Oh my God. You've missed 11 drops since this album.
Okay, why is there an album called Slowed and Reverbed 4? Why are...
At least he dropped 2 albums since Slowed and Reverbed 3.
Oh my God. Wow.
The album art for Super Liger is pretty sick, though.
Sorry, I threw my phone in anger.
Very similar to this one, but...
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Look, I mean... Oh, he did a motion picture soundtrack in there. That's actually... If you cut the kind of BS of the music, that makes sense here. I get that. I can understand where the reverb landscapes come from. I just... Oh my gosh, 11 albums. Dude, that's diabolical. Why? Who let this happen? Someone take away his lander. Oh no. We better not tag him in this reel.
Oh, I didn't.
Thank God. Oh. Is this where we get to the part of the show where we gotta tell people we're looking for more music to review?
Yeah, we probably should.
Hey guys, we're always looking for new music to review. So what we need you to do is head down in the comments and drop your favorite songs, albums, and EPs, and we will take a check out. Well, we will check it out on either our live or in a video. This one came from a suggestion from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not one of our favorite commenters. I may have made an enemy tonight.
So I usually remember when it's them, so I don't remember where this one came from.
we do appreciate new music, and that's always a fun thing to talk about, is how even if we crap on something, it is awesome to listen to a bunch of things, This did make me want to listen to like metal music again, because I typically listen to metal over the spring and summer and fall and winters, like weird, like 70s rock music. But yeah, I'm like back in a metal swing, so that was cool at least. Thanks for that. Whatever your band's name is, Vulture something. Voluptuous Vultures or whatever.
All right, you ready for next week?
Yeah.
All right. From, I believe, the same video, probably the same comment section. Next week, we'll be reviewing Ego Trip by John Michael and Anthony James.
Woo! Hopefully back into a full cast next week.
For sure.
But I reckon that means it's time for you guys to hit the like button. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Also, head over to our Album Book Club Fourth Wall store and check out our Album Mug Club mugs, as well as our varsity hoodies, our hats, and our other cool items like our desk mats and Connor's shirt. Not the one he's currently wearing.
No, I have all of these actually.
Yeah, he's got all
I
those.
got like 10 of these.
All right, and we will see you next week.
See ya.